Hi guys, I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts. Any of you who watch our videos know that I'm a huge fan of the Cutterpillar brand, and I love my Cutterpillar crop and my Cutterpillar table model both. They're just fabulous trimmers. Now, they have some tips on their website. You can go to Cutterpillar.com and get their advice for handling any number of little issues that come up. But just for the sake of our customers who follow us, because many of you have bought this trimmer on my recommendation, I thought I'd go through and just hit just a few little basics with you of things that I've learned from using the machine. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. What I'm going to show you on here is the Cutterpillar crop. This is the smaller of the two models. I have a tabletop model also, but this is the smaller of the two. The Cutterpillar crop folds out and has a 17, almost 18-inch arm that comes out from there. So you can actually handle cardstock that's up to 12 by 18 with this Cutterpillar. This extending arm, as with all trimmers that have an extending arm, you have to treat this with some care, because if you go trying to pack it by this or grab it by this, this can snap off. So always be careful about that, because that's not something that you want to end up having a problem with. Let's look at some of the other features of the Cutterpillar crop. Up here under measures, we have the inches here, and underneath here we have centimeters. So that's useful to know that you have both kinds of measures here. And then these lines coming down align with 1/4 inches on your inch measurement. So that's nice, and I use that feature a lot. You can see my machine's actually a little sparkly from sitting here on my table while I'm working on Christmas cards. When you're using this machine, you want to align this, and any trimmer really, you want to align your cardstock along this measurement at the top. You never want to cut down here unless you're carefully aligning to your grid lines, because it's, that's going to get you off. But if you come up here to the top, you can easily align against the top of the machine, and that's what you're going to rely on to give you some real precision. Now, you've heard me say that one of the things I love about this machine is the accuracy, and generally right out of the box it's very accurate. There's a few things, that you can do that will loosen up this carriage a little bit, and if it does, then you're going to have to tighten up the carriage to continue to get really precise cuts, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. I want to talk just for a second about actually cutting with the Cutterpillar. When you're cutting with the Cutterpillar, this is our blade shuttle right here, and our blade shuttle runs along this bar at the top. You want to, when you're making a cut with the Cutterpillar, you want to press your blade shuttle slightly against the side of this bar as you cut, and then you're going to push it forward slightly as well. Align your cardstock, press slightly against the side of your table as you're cutting, and you can get beautiful, very precise cuts. That's what, about maybe a 1/16 of an inch there? So you can get beautiful cuts. Now, my personal experience is that I've been able to be fine trimming off little bits like this when I'm trimming up my cards. Maybe I get my cardstock or my mirror board on slightly off. And 2 layers, even if it's 300 GSM on top of a 300 GSM card, that cuts just fine. If you get more than that, you're going to end up having troubles. And if you try to overload your machine, one of the things that can happen is that this shuttle can jump up onto this table. If that were to happen, do not force the blade off. If you force the blade off, you're going to damage the blade. Instead, what you need to do is just get your screwdriver and unscrew it right here. This little bolt comes out. Thank you, Lisa, for my little screwdriver set that she bought me for the shop. I can't tell you how much I use this nifty little screwdriver she bought me. Okay, and then this little piece pops right out. You can lift this right back off, put that blade right back at the side where it belongs, and just put this back on. So how's that for an easy fix? But do not force that blade off the top. If you do, you risk bending the blade and invalidating your warranty. Now, speaking of warranties, Cutterpillar is great. They say this self-sharpening blade, this is a self-sharpening blade, and they say that it's possible that you can wear one out. I haven't yet, and I use it all the time, but they do say that it's possible you can wear one out. And if you manage to wear one out, they will replace that blade for you for free. If you damage the blade because you're overloading the machine, it's possible that you may have to pay, I think it's $7.50 for a replacement blade. I believe that's what I read on the insert for the new machine. I have a new machine sitting here. It says that, where is it that, I'm sure I read that. Here it is. If your blade is damaged from misuse, you pay $7.50 to replace it. That's a pretty good deal, really. And you have to pay nominal shipping back and forth, but that's, you know, a small shipping charge. But just contact Cutterpillar, and if you've just worn it out, they will replace your blade for free for you. So you can't beat a deal like that. One of the things that I love about this machine is that it is self-sharpening. I don't have to replace my dull blades. I don't have to replace channel mats, because they'll notice there are no channel mats. I have this bar that it runs up against, and there's no channel mats here. So once you've made the initial investment in the machine, you really have no ongoing expense, other than perhaps you may want to replace the batteries. The battery compartment is down below the machine. It has, I believe it has a screw to open the battery compartment. Maybe not. I think the battery compartment just pops open, and it uses 4 AAA batteries. But beautiful, bright lighted surface. One other thing I wanted to mention to you here is that the company strongly recommends that you do not carry this machine by this handle. It's a real temptation to do it because it's right there, it's in front of you. There's a strong temptation to just grab this machine and carry it around by this handle. But what you do over time, if you do that, I can get this on tight after I pick it off. What you do over time, if you do that, is loosen these, what are these called, Margie? Are those hex screws, I guess?
Yeah. Another thing would be using an Allen wrench, is the name of the tool.
Grab your Allen wrench, and you can come in here and you can tighten this back up. So it's really as simple as making sure that this is properly aligned, and just tighten this up. And you may have to just tighten it up on occasion just from normal use, because, you know, over time you're moving this thing back and forth, and you'll have those issues. But one of our customers said, well, I don't understand why it's not cutting like it does for you. Well, one of the things that I think she may have been experiencing, I'm trying to make it cut poorly and it doesn't want to, is if you're not pushing the blade carriage against the machine itself as you're cutting, you're not getting your best cut. That's forcing the blade against the sharpening edge, and that is both going to keep your blade nice and fresh, and it's going to just apply just enough pressure to get you some really, really beautiful cuts. You should be able to cut everything from this lightweight copy paper that I'm using to, like I said, I use it quite routinely to do 2 layers of 300 GSM paper. Don't go heavier than that. If you go heavier than that, I'm telling you guys, it's going to jump the rails, and it's going to come up on top, and you'll be unscrewing this, putting it back where it belongs, and screwing it up again. Again, it's not a big deal. It's not a huge deal to fix it, but you know, it's just the frustration of taking time away from your activities that you can get beautiful, just gorgeous, precise cuts with this machine, which is why I love it so much. So anyway, I just wanted to take a moment and talk with you just about kind of the care and feeding of your of your Cutterpillar. So I hope you enjoy yours as much as I enjoy mine. I'm confident this is the last paper cutter I'm ever going to buy. So thank you for your time. See you later.